CBS Television Sports presents the National Hockey League. Today, the Minnesota North Stars meet the Boston Bruins. Brought to you by the agents of Allied Van Lines. We move families, not just furniture. And by Continental Insurance, the company that stands behind you and everything you own. And by Pontiac, the wide track people, and your local Pontiac dealer. And by First National City Traveler's Check, available at banks everywhere.
This is the Boston Garden, where this afternoon the Boston Bruins meet the Minnesota North Stars. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dan Kelly with Jim Gordon. Welcome to another CBS Game of the Week. The National Hockey League is going into its second last week of the regular schedule. The North Stars have clinched second place in the West Division. They can no longer finish first. Chicago has wrapped that up. But it's a big game for the Boston Bruins, Jim.
No doubt about the fact the Boston Bruins are still aware that the New York Rangers are behind them. They trail by just 5, the Rangers do, although Boston, of course, has this game in hand. So before the afternoon is over, they can pick up those 2 big ones.
And, of course, our hockey fans across the country are going to be watching perhaps hockey's greatest 1-2 punch today. Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito. Orr, the brilliant defenseman who leads the league in assists. Esposito, the great center ice star who leads the league in goals.
One of the main keys, of course, for the Minnesota North Stars is Gump Worsley, who with Cesar Maniago has been one of the great backstops. Notice the mouse under his right eye. Gump took a puck full in the nose, knocked him completely unconscious. He is, of course, one of the goaltenders who doesn't wear a mask. That is not the mask, but the one behind him is not his, obviously.
He said when he arrived at the Garden today, a gentleman met him with 4 face masks to try out. He said, I'm too old to start that now.
He's not too old to play goal.
He's a good one and has been over the years. Gump Worsley of the North Stars. Should be an interesting afternoon, the Boston Bruins and the Minnesota North Stars, and we'll be ready for the opening face-off in just a moment.
You may think you're stuck with a lemon, when all you're really stuck with is a dirty carburetor. Because that's all it may take to make your engine run rough and lose power. But the solution is here. New STP Double Power Gasoline Treatment. Power to clean with power to burn. Add a can next time you fill up. You'll really feel the difference.
To prove a point, I'm about to shave without using any water. Nothing can make my beard wet and soft but this. Rise. I'm actually getting a clean shave. The reason? The moisture in Rise. Slowly, Rise seeps moisture into your beard and holds it there for as long as it takes you to shave. Now, if I can get a shave like this using Rise with no water, imagine what you can do using Rise with water.
Nero, honey, your palace is on fire. Your cash is burning.
I never keep cash in my palace. Do you? I keep my money in First National City Traveler's checks.
First National City Traveler's checks?
Even at home, if they're lost or stolen or go up in flames, I'm protected. I can get a refund at over 30,000 places. First National City Traveler's checks. Unless you have money to burn.
Once there was a typical young family who didn't want to look typical. They dreamed of owning a mid-sized car with value and pizzazz. Pizzazz! But every mid-sized car they saw looked so typical. Alas, no pizzazz. Pizzazz! They almost gave up hope when there it was, their dream car, a wide-track Pontiac Le Mans, loaded with value and pizzazz! Most untypical. If you don't want to look typical, look into an untypical Pontiac Le Mans.
Greetings again from the Boston Garden. Dan Kelly with Jim Gordon. This afternoon, the Minnesota North Stars will try and win their first game ever in Boston Garden, and the Bruins will try and move closer to cinching first place in the National Hockey League's East Division. The referee today is Bill Friday. The linesmen are John D'Amico and Terry Pierce. And now, here's our national anthem. North Stars, Jerry Cheevers, number 30, starting in goal for Boston. He is a 2.30 goals against average and has been in the Bruins goal for 29 games in a row without a loss. Down at the other end of the rink, Gump Worsley, the 42-year-old veteran who doesn't wear the face mask, starting in goal for Minnesota. The Bruins have had an edge on the North Stars in regular season play this year, winning 4, losing none, and one game has ended in a tie. Murray Oliver, number 10 for the North Stars, getting ready to face off. There's Cheevers getting ready to face off. Oliver against number 16, Derek Sanderson. The referee, number 3, Bill Friday, drops the puck. It goes to the Minnesota blue line. Tom Reed clears it to Moans. Moans shoots it to center. And number 4, Bobby Orr has it. To Dallas Smith, number 20. Out on left wing to Walton, who shoots it into the Minnesota zone. Worsley knocks it off to the side. Sanderson tried to center it. Now here's Oliver. Pass to Nevin that was off the mark, goes into the Bruins zone, and number 20, Dallas Smith has it. The 4, Bobby Orr. Orr turns to get away from Oliver. Cuts back of the net. Pass to Smith. Long pass to Sanderson. Off the mark, goes all the way down the ice. Number 21, Danny Grant, back to touch it for Minnesota. And the Bruins are called for icing.
Take a good look at this Minnesota North Star team here this afternoon. Regardless of the outcome of this game, this team has been one of the surprises to many hockey fans the entire year, although they certainly showed in last year's Stanley Cup playoff they're on their way. They are conceivably going to be the big surprise of this year's Cup.
They're in second place. They haven't clinched. Winners of 34 games, lost 26, tied 10. Here comes Walton. Pass to Westfall, whose shot is wide of the Minnesota goal. Now Sanderson tried to set up Walton. Bob Nevin breaks it up. Back of his own goal to Moans, number 6. Doug Moans, who formerly played with the Boston Bruins, as well as the Chicago Blackhawks, passes it to Bob Nevin. Nevin fires it to center. Knocked down by Dallas Smith, and then Reed tips it into the Bruins zone, and Orr is back together. The Bruins nothing, the North Stars nothing. Here in the early minutes of the first period. Now Dallas Smith, number 20. Stick handling, tried to go around Reed. Reed takes him out of the play, just played the man, and Nevin picks up the puck. Tried to shoot it out. Orr at the point, holding it in. Orr fakes the shot. Nevin knocked it off his stick, and Nevin gets it to center ice, and Orr hustles back. With that great speed of his, he can gamble offensively and still get back defensively. Here comes Orr again. Into the Minnesota zone, and Westfall, number 18, over on right wing, went in ahead of the play, offside. The action has stopped with 18 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
In the dull and commonplace occurrences of day-to-day living, one thing stands out as a completely unique experience. Colt 45 malt liquor.
Phil Esposito, number 7. Facing off, the puck goes to Vadnais, number 10, a newcomer to the Bruins, shoots it into the Minnesota zone. Back to get it, Ted Harris, number 4, the North Star captain. Out on the wing to Parisi. Ken Hodge knocks it down. Hodge and Harris fight for it. Puck along the boards, Esposito and Burns fighting for it there. Still loose, and Parisi comes up with it, number 11. John Paul Parisi into the Bruins zone, a hard shot. Cheevers made the save and then dove out to get the rebound. And then have a face-off in the Boston zone. The North Stars today playing without the services of Cesar Montiago. Here's the replay, Jim.
This is a tremendously hard shot by Parisi, and Cheevers just hung with it. It was right at his pads, actually, but it had a lot of steam on it, and Cheevers couldn't hold the rebound, had to drop down on top.
North Stars playing without Cesar Montiago. One of their goaltenders is out with a knee injury. Also, center iceman Jude Druas, sidelined with an ankle injury. The Bruins are at full strength, and here comes Esposito, number 7. Bill Esposito, the National Hockey League's leading scorer. One-hand shot hit the side of the net. Barry Gibbs now to Parisi. He lost it, and Esposito has it. Checked by Goldsworthy. Now it's Vadnais into Hodge to the soft side. Number 8, Ken Hodge, in ahead of the play on right wing. Carl Vadnais, playing with the Boston Bruins, wears number 10. He was obtained in a recent trade from the California Golden Seals that saw the Bruins send 3 young players to the Seals. Defenseman Bob Stewart and Rick Smith, and young forward Reg Leach. Vadnais shoots the puck into the Minnesota zone. He's a big one, 6'1", 190. And a real rough, tough customer who fits the Bruins mold. He's also a fine offensive player. Here's Don Orey for the Bruins, shooting it into the Minnesota zone. Back to get it, number 9, Burns. Over on the boards to Gibbs. Cashman intercepting it to Esposito, a bouncing shot. And Worsley stopped that. Now Hodge ran into Ted Harris. Puck comes to center ice. Number 10, Vadnais with the long shot. Worsley stops it. And Burns is back to get it. Burns passing it out on left wing to J.P. Parisi. His pass to Goldsworthy was too far ahead. Don Orey, number 26, picks it up. Orey, a pass now to Cashman. Wayne Cashman with Esposito and Hodge. Cashman trying to control the puck. It's knocked out the center ice. He fires it back in, and Esposito and Hodge are trapped in there offside.
Some fine job so far this afternoon in a very young game by Ken Hodge, who's been doing a beautiful forechecking job, going in and taking out a defenseman on at least 3 separate occasions to give Boston a fairly good shot at that net. He also, as you saw, made a fine blue line play on his very first turn on the ice, going full length to stop a puck that was being cleared out, kept it in, and the Bruins had a shot. So far, no score.
Stanfield, Busick, and McKenzie for the Bruins against Hextall, Prentice, and Nanny for Minnesota. Now it's Dallas Smith on the Boston defense, out to McKenzie, back to Smith. Puck goes to center. Reed knocks it down. It's picked up by Stanfield, number 17. Brad Stanfield into the North Star zone, trying to center it. Gets help from McKenzie. And Hextall third it. Hextall again trying to get down there. Stanfield, a backhand shot deflects wide. Now Tom Reed to Lou Nanny. Nanny tied up by Busick. Stanfield shoots the puck along the board. Prentice, the veteran for the North Stars, carries out on left wing, passes to Lou Nanny. Nanny knocked off balance by Dallas Smith, and Orr has the puck. Orr and Hextall back behind the net. Hextall ties up Orr. Nanny comes in, trying to get the puck loose, and they hold it there. And we'll have a face-off in the Bruin zone to the left of Jerry Cheevers, who, as I mentioned, has played 29 games in the Bruin goal this year, or at least 29 in a row this year, without suffering a loss. Having a sensational season. Dallas Smith tried to clear it out. It's Nanny along the boards. Lost the puck. Now Hextall gets it to Dean Prentice. Prentice, a backhand shot stopped by Orr. And Dallas Smith gets it. Around on the boards on right wing to McKenzie. He feeds it to Stanfield, who shot at the center, and Doug Moans has it. Moans with a long flip shot. Caught by Cheevers. He flips it off to Orr. Orr being watched by Hextall. The Bruins nothing, the North Stars nothing here in the first period. Now it's Stanfield, number 17, coming to center ice with a long shot. Worsley handles that, turns it back to the goal to Prentice, who ducks under a check from Stanfield. Now McKenzie, battling along the boards, comes up with the puck. Around behind the net to Busick. Busick stick handling, trying to center it. He's checked by Moans. Now it's centered to Stanfield. Stanfield, a pass in front, and Reed. A good defensive play to break it up, and back comes Moans. Hard shot. Cheevers got it. Gives it to Dallas Smith. Number 20, Dallas Smith ahead to Stanfield. At center to Orr. Into the North Star zone. He runs into Dean Prentice, and they both go down. Moans in the corner. Pass to Prentice, number 29. He gives it to Hextall at center. Into Nanny. Back to Prentice. Prentice lets the shot go. Orr blocks it. Prentice again with the puck. Centering it to Hextall. A shot, and Cheevers. Big stop on Hextall. Now Moans the drive. And that's deflected wide. Johnny Busick for the Bruins, number 9. Gives it to Stanfield, who comes out of his own zone, and play is called.
Prentice and Orr had some collision. This is Bobby coming across, and wham, he took the full shoulder and then went down. Both okay.
Referee Bill Friday going over to the Bruin bench. He has something wrong with his skate. The action has stopped with 14 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
We all hope the good times never leave us behind. We face our tomorrows with some peace of mind. But no man has a promise of a life without care. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you insure your car, or your life, or health, or your home with State Farm, you're making sure someone you can count on will always be around to help. State Farm has more than 10,000 agents throughout the country, so no matter where you live, there's probably one right in your neighborhood.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. State Farm is there.
Well, referee Bill Friday proves that referees, after all, are human. He broke his skate lace, and that's the reason for the delay as he gets a new lace.
Next Saturday, CBS will bring you the championship game of this, the 35th Annual National Invitation Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Competition continues all week into the final Saturday, with CBS bringing you the title game at 1 p.m. Eastern Time live. Some of the teams in the second round, Oral Roberts with a record of 26-1, a 20-point winner over 13th-ranked Memphis State, among others. Also Maryland, Jacksonville, and Syracuse. Princeton playing today. 14 minutes and 28 seconds to go. Princeton is the winner today in the NIT. Referees' skate laces are all set. Here's Dan.
Face-off outside the Bruin blue line, and the puck comes into the Minnesota zone, and Ted Harris, number 4, has it. Over to Barry Gibbs. Pass it center to Grant, number 21. Danny Grant lets a long shot go. Cheevers scoops it off into the corner. Here's Nevin for the North Stars, centering it, and it hits a skate and goes all the way back into the Minnesota zone. Barry Gibbs, number 2, has it. Gibbs passes it up to Nevin. Nevin gives it to Oliver, who's had a great season for the North Stars. Murray Oliver firing it into the Boston zone. Danny Grant in there to get it. Here's Oliver with the puck, centers to Nevin. Nevin in front of the net. Couldn't get the shot away. Nevin holding on to that puck, centers it. Knocked away. Here's Gibbs poking it into the corner, and number 26, Horry, is back to get it. He's on the Boston defense with Vadnais, number 10. Horry gives it to Vadnais. Carl Vadnais, pass at center ice for Walton, goes all the way down into the Minnesota zone, and it's Gibbs back to touch it. And the Bruins are called for icing. Vadnais joining the Bruins, quite a catch for Boston, as he was a man who really came into his own out with the California Golden Seals and was a much sought-after player by several clubs in the National Hockey League.
Some defensive alignment now, Dan.
Here's Ted Harris at the point. Now it goes to Nevin. Nevin to Danny Grant. Grant for Nevin. He couldn't get his stick on it, and back comes Walton, number 11 for Boston, with Westfall. Walton holding on to the puck, gets it into the corner. Gibbs breaks it up, and it's taken by Murray Oliver. Oliver to Nevin, a perfect pass. Nevin moves to center, gives it to Grant. Grant back to Nevin, and it's offside after a neat play by Danny Grant.
Murray Oliver on left wing, just a half step across the blue line, and as Dan points out, it was a good play with Nevin timing his pass perfectly and waiting for the fine return, but Oliver just across that line too far. 13-10 to go, no score, Minnesota-Boston at Boston.
Oliver, number 10, formerly played with the Bruins, as well as with the Toronto Maple Leafs and Detroit Red Wings, and he's had a big year, 26 goals, second only to Goldsworthy in the goal-scoring column with Minnesota. Puck shot into the North Star zone, Harris back to get it. Trying to pass it out, held in by Vadnais. Vadnais' shot goes wide. Now it's Gibbs. Out to Nevin, number 17. Bob Nevin at center ice, a pass to Danny Grant. Vadnais races back to get it. Grant and Vadnais fight for it on the boards, and they hold it there and will have a face-off. In the Bruins zone to the right of Jerry Cheevers with 12 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first period. The Boston Bruins, nothing. The Minnesota North Stars, nothing. The Bruins sending out Esposito, Hodge, and Cashman. Hodge back in the Bruin lineup after being sidelined for several weeks with a broken bone in his ankle. This is only his second game back. It's Burns with Parisi and Goldsworthy for Minnesota. Here's Burns in the corner. Shoots it around on the board. Dallas Smith getting it. Passed it to Cashman. Broken up by Reed. Reed shot it to the corner. Now Goldsworthy fighting for it. It's Cashman along the board trying to get it out of there. And he does get it to center. Parisi for Minnesota, number 11. Pass to Goldsworthy, who shoots it into the Bruin zone. Orr and Burns back to get it. Orr beats him to it. Passes to Hodge. Hodge back of the net to Dallas Smith, number 20. Out to Esposito, now to Cashman. Cashman moving across the line. Holds on to the puck, gets it to Hodge. His shot wide of the net. Now Esposito. Checked by Parisi. Parisi moving out of his zone into the rink to Charlie Burns, number 9. Now to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy, a shot went right through the goal mouth. Hodge for Boston. Shoots it to center, and Tom Reed, number 20, hustles back for Minnesota. To Goldsworthy. Number 8, Bill Goldsworthy, gives it to Moans. Moans being forechecked by Wayne Cashman. On the left wing boards, it's Burns. Flipping it out to Parisi, who comes to center. Parisi down with Goldsworthy. Burns trailing. Parisi with the puck. Lets the shot go. Cheever's got his stick on it. Reed for the North Stars. Into Burns. Back to Tom Reed. Reed closing in a shot. And Cheevers makes the save and held on to the loose puck for a faceoff.
11 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the first period at Boston. There is no score. Minnesota North Stars and the Boston Bruins will have the scores of last night's games and some good action shots as well, not only from the game last night, Chicago game, but also from Friday night, the critical game with the St. Louis Blues.
St. Louis and California Friday night tied 2-2 in a fine hockey game before a sellout crowd out in Oakland. Puck comes to center ice. It's Ken Hodge, number 8, giving it to Orr. Orr at center ice, in across the line. Pulls onto the puck to Cashman, now to Orr. Centered it, and Moans breaks it up. Moans turns to get away from Phil Esposito to Goldsworthy. Bill Goldsworthy lost it to Cashman. Now Esposito stick handling outside the blue line. Lost it, gets it back again. Pass to Bobby Orr. Orr to Dallas Smith. Back to Orr, and Moans just broke it up, or Mr. Orr would have had a breakaway. Puck at the Minnesota line. Reed giving it to Bill Goldsworthy, number 8. He passes to Moans. Now to Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy lets a hard shot go. Cheevers to save. Racing in to get it was Hanson. Now Hanson does have it, but Orr beat him to the loose puck. Back comes Orr for Boston. A 4-man rush to center. Orr drops it to Esposito. Esposito holding on to that puck as he does so well. A shot, and it's blocked at the defense. And Goldsworthy starts back for Minnesota. Goldsworthy dropped pass to Hanson to Parisi, and he shot it wide. Back of the net, Orr gets the puck. Bruins nothing, the North Stars nothing. Orr to Smith. Smith shoots it into the Minnesota zone, and Barry Gibbs takes it. Gibbs checked by Esposito. Now Gibbs gets it back again. Barry Gibbs in a 3-man rush ahead to Prentice on left wing. He tries to work it in front. Back to Harris, a shot. And a good save by Cheevers. Then Nanny centered it. Hextall a shot. And the net was empty, but Don Orey stopped him. And the Bruins have a 3-on-2 break. Busick tried to set up Hodge, and it was tipped away. And back comes Hextall, a 2-on-1 break for Minnesota with only Orey back. Hextall to Prentice. Prentice to shot. Orey again blocked it. Now Gibbs the shot. Cheevers stops that one in. Badney comes up with the rebound. Out to McKenzie. He got it outside the line, and Hextall has it. Don Orey has played the part of the goaltender twice to make key stops here in the last minute. Once with the net wide empty, and Orey gets a good hand as he has the puck back to the Bruin goal. To Stanfield. Stanfield fakes the shot, and Nanny poke-checked him. Lou Nanny now to Hextall, number 22. He's not spinning by McKenzie. And Stanfield starts back for the Bruins, number 17. Hard shot. McKenzie a shot. John McKenzie picked the corner after the shot. And this to net bounced straight out to McKenzie.
He couldn't have got it any finer than that. It hit the post just on the inside. Here's McKenzie's shot again. Worsley gives him an awfully wide side. Just inside the post, and Karam's inside. Boston 1, Minnesota nothing. Worsley gave him a pretty open side.
And for John McKenzie, goal number 20 of the season. The shot by Stanfield was wide of the net, came off the boards right out to McKenzie, who was in full flight. And that makes it 1-0 for the Bruins. Hextall for Minnesota shoots it into the Boston zone, and Badney is back to get it. Badney to Stanfield, back to Badney to Stanfield again. At center ice with a long shot. Worsley flips it off to Dean Prentice. Prentice gets away from McKenzie, headmans the puck to Hextall. Hextall with a long shot. Wide of the Boston goal. Here's Lou Nanny, dumping it in behind the net. Badney comes up with it. Carl Badney out to McKenzie on right wing. Here comes John McKenzie to Stanfield, and he's poke-checked at the Minnesota blue line. Hextall to Lou Nanny, number 23. Nanny in across the line, and Prentice had gone in ahead of the play over on left wing.
That was a pretty shot by Johnny McKenzie to put the Boston Bruins away. Here he is now right up on top of it. Look at the room to Worthy's right side. And he never could go. He was looking to his left. And McKenzie picked the spot just beautifully.
That applause is for Don Orey as he skates to the Bruin bench. He made 2 key stops playing the part of the goaltender. McKenzie with his 20th goal becomes the 8th Bruin player to reach that plateau this season. There's a shooting score, Tom Reed. A shot from the point that came through a maze of players and may have been deflected in.
Looked like it came off Bobby Orr's stick, Dan. And it comes with startling suddenness. There's Bobby, the left-hand side, backing in.
Number 20.
There comes the pass now from the blue line, the shot. And I believe it's off Bobby Orr's stick. Just off the left side of Cheevers.
Could have hit Dallas Smith, who was in the line of fire, too. It wasn't that hard a shot, but it was deflected. And it got behind Cheevers, and that ties it at 1-1. Now Tom Reed, number 20. Shoots it to center ice, and Dallas Smith gets it to Sanderson, number 16. Sanderson to Westfall, and it's offside at the Minnesota blue line. So the North Stars bounce right back to tie it at 1-1 on a rather weak shot, but it changed directions and fooled Cheevers. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Cheevers saw that puck at the last second because there was traffic in his line of fire. Reed gets the goal. Unassisted. Here's Gould with a shot. Cheevers cleared that to the corner. Oliver overskated it, and Sanderson has it for Boston. Derek Sanderson tried to get it out. Danny Grant clearing it back in, and it's Smith with the puck to Bobby Orr. Here comes Orr to his own blue line. Still has it as he comes to center. Shoots it off the boards into the Minnesota zone, and Reed, number 20, is back together. To Doug Mones. Now to Danny Grant. Grant lost it, and Sanderson has it for Boston, flipping it ahead to Walton. The puck into the North Star zone. Walton in there after it. Gets away from Grant, but Nevin, back-checking, broke it up and clears it out at center ice. Oliver couldn't get it, and Orr takes over for the Bruins. To Dallas Smith. Smith out to Walton. Long right wing pass to Westfall, moving in with a quick wrist shot wide of the net. Bounces along the boards. Walton comes up with it. He and Nevin fight for it. Now it goes to Tom Reed. Reed, who scored the Minnesota goal, ahead to Danny Grant with a hard shot. Cheevers stops that. Now Nevin shot hit Smith, and Sanderson takes over for Boston, number 16. Leaves it for Orr. Orr out of center ice to Walton. Now to Sanderson across the line. Drop pass to Walton in front of Sanderson. And Worsley kicked it out with his left pass. J.P. Parisi to Harris. Ted Harris lets the shot go. Smith blocked that. Cheevers tried to poke it away. Burns gets it, centers it back, no one in position, and the puck comes all the way back to the Minnesota blue line. Harris lost the puck. So did Esposito, and Parisi has it for Minnesota. J.P. Parisi to goal for the off his stick into the Bruins zone, and Cashman gets it. Wayne Cashman to Bobby Orr. Orr gets it to Ken Haas. Haas to Cashman. Harris breaks that rush up and gives it to veteran Charlie Burns, number 9. Back to Barry Gibbs. Gibbs shot at the center. It's Hodge breaking it up to Esposito with Cashman. The shot, and Esposito shot it wide. Going to be a penalty to Minnesota. Play is called. Holding penalty against the North Stars. The action has stopped with 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
Number 4, Minnesota. 2 minutes for holding.
Let's pause for a moment.
Tom Seaver doesn't wear the traveler knit suit from Sears when he works, but he could.
It's a great-looking style for an outfit with a stretch fabric that keeps him feeling comfortable and looking fine, because knits shake the wrinkles right out.
The traveler knit suit. You won't want to wear it all the time, but you could. The traveler knit suit and all that goes with it at Sears, the men's store.
So the Boston Bruins, with Ted Harris in the penalty box for holding, have the power play on. Here's Mike Walton at the point to John McKenzie. The Bruins have the best power play in the league production-wise, 68 goals so far. Orr trying to hold it in, gets it to Esposito, to Walton. Walton into the corner to Busick, and it's broken up by Hanson, who's out with Craig Cameron to kill the penalty, and the puck is cleared down the ice. The Bruins have scored 68 power play goals, tops in the National Hockey League. And Esposito leads the power play parade with 25 of them. Here he comes to center ice. Esposito with a long shot wide of the net. Hampson back to pick it up. Hampson to 28, Craig Cameron. He's checked. Now McKenzie to Busick. Reed intercepts the pass and clears it down the ice. And the Bruins again go back. Esposito has 25 of the power play goals. Busick has 12 and Orr 11. Here comes Orr. Into the Minnesota zone, leaves it for Busick. Busick into Esposito. He scores! Bill Esposito gets goal number 60 of the season and makes it 2-0. A power play goal by Esposito. Makes it 2-1, I should say. Here's Orr. He drops the pass. Busick into Esposito, who is in all alone, and he picked that same corner, the bottom right-hand corner, just inside the post to make it 2-1. And for Phil Esposito, his 60th goal of the year. And his 26th power play goal, which is the National Hockey League record. More power play goals in one season by one player, Phil Esposito. He had the old record of 25. Esposito set the record last year with 25. He breaks it here today. And it's 2-1. Bailey for Boston back to his own line to Vadnais. Vadnais now to Stanfield at center. Stanfield across the line with Bailey and Marcotte. He can't center it. And Gibbs knocks it down for Minnesota. Barry Gibbs. Pass to Nanny was off the mark. Goes down into the Bruins zone. Vadnais is back to touch it, and the Minnesota North Stars are called for icing. The scoring play, Phil Esposito from Busick and Orr at 15:32. And it was a power play goal. The assist for Orr moves him into a tie for second place in the scoring race in the NHL with Jean Rattel. Now it's Don Orey shooting it in behind the Minnesota goal. Bailey, number 14, and Gibbs fight for it. Nextel comes in to help out his teammate from Minnesota and shoots the puck down into the Boston zone. Carol Vadnais, number 10, is back together. The Bruins 2, the North Stars 1. Vadnais gives the puck to Stanfield. He's out on the forward line with Marcotte and Bailey. Now Orey to Stanfield at center. Stanfield shoots it into the Minnesota zone, and Gibbs is back together. Barry Gibbs being checked by Bailey. Marcotte tried to hold it in. It goes to Dean Prentice. Prentice to Nanny. Lou Nanny into the Bruin zone. Bumped by Bailey. Then by Orey, and Bailey has the puck, passing it up to Vadnais, who comes to center. Vadnais shooting it into the Minnesota zone. Racing into Marcotte. Tries to center it. He does. And Hextall cleared it, but not out. Orey a shot. That's wide of the Minnesota goal. And Barry Gibbs has it for the North Stars. Gibbs on left wing to Hextall. Hextall into the corner. Bumped along the boards by Vadnais. Don Orey has the puck. Trying to get it out. Harris held it in. His shot blocked by Orey. And Orey cuts back of his own goal and starts out of his end of the rink for the Bruins. Orey skating really well after an early season broken ankle. Shoots the puck into the Minnesota zone. Gibbs has it. Out on left wing to Dean Prentice. Prentice for Minnesota. Lead pass for Hextall. Too far, goes all the way down the ice. There'll be no icing as they rule that the Bruins could have played it. Now Dallas Smith shot at the center. Murray Oliver to Ted Harris. Harris to Nevin. Nevin to Danny Grant. Grant back to Nevin. Trying to work it in front. Vadnais took it away from him. Vadnais tried to shoot it out. Harris held it in. Now Marcotte near the blue line. Checked by Harris over to Nevin on right wing. Bob Nevin taken out of the play by Smith. And Mike Walton has it for the Bruins. Walton to Stanfield. Back to Walton. To Stanfield again. Moving in. And Worsley dove out and poked it off Stanfield's stick. Good play by Worsley. He does that often. He's very good with his goal. Now Walton a shot. Worsley stops it on the short side, and Ted Harris passes it out to Oliver. Oliver, number 10. Drop pass to Grant. Grant into Nevin, a shot, and Keevers covered the post and made the save, and Orr takes the rebound. A minute 23 left in the period. At least Sanderson takes Walton's pass, a long shot high off the glass. Puck into the corner. Reed and Walton and Sanderson jam up there and hold it, and we'll have a face-off in the Minnesota zone. The action has stopped with 1 minute, 11 seconds left in the first period. Let's pause for a moment.
Hey, how did you swing another new Pontiac?
Another new Catalina, Wilson. Feels good.
But does it ride nice?
It's a wide track, Wilson.
Now, you know how well they ride.
Hey, look out!
Catalina's new front bumper system is designed to help protect it.
The high trade-in I got on my last Catalina helped make it all possible.
Wilson, money isn't everything.
Face-off at the Minnesota line. The Bruins lead the North Stars 2-1, and Doug Moans passes to Tom Reed, out to Bob Nevin. Nevin, a lead pass to Grant. Grant, by Bobby Orr, and here comes Walton with less than a minute to play. Walton with Sanderson. Walton tried to flip it in front of the net, gets it again, but Tom Reed knocks it down and passes to Oliver, to Danny Grant. Grant couldn't get around Orr. Oliver gets it, passes to Nevin off his skate, and Smith tried to shoot it out. It's dealt in by Reed. Walton stepped into him, and here's Derek Sanderson. Lost the puck, and Nevin shoots it to the Bruin line. Walton back to get it. Mike Walton to Bobby Orr. Orr to the Minnesota line, bumped by Reed. Reed goes down, but the play was offside anyway at the Minnesota blue line. Well, Phil Esposito gets his 60th goal of the season here today. He's having another tremendous year. Last year, of course, shattered the goal record for a single season with 76. And comes right back, and at this point has 60. There he is. Esposito leading the National Hockey League scoring race now with 124 points. Puck comes to Parisi for Minnesota, moving in, trying to pass it to Goldworthy. A shot. Smith blocked that, and Smith passes to Esposito. He lets Hodge take it. Now Esposito picks it up into Cashman. Cashman on left wing, dumped it in front. Burns knocks it down, couldn't get it out. Hodge's shot is blocked, and Burns gets it for Minnesota with 2 seconds left. Comes to center, and the siren goes just as Burns shot the puck to Cheevers, deflected wide of the net. That's the end of the first period with the score. The Boston Bruins 2 and the Minnesota North Stars 1. The North Stars make a last-minute switch and send out Murray Oliver at center with Bob Nevin on right wing, Danny Grant on left wing. Referee Bill Friday drops the puck in the second period's underway. Tom Reed at the Minnesota blue line over to Doug Moans. Moans shooting it out to Grant. He's checked, and Orr has it. Orr to Westfall, ahead to Sanderson. Derek Sanderson lets a shot go. Caught by Worsley. Flipped off to the corner. Moans gets it. Trying to shoot it out. Sanderson intercepted it. Dumped it in front to Westfall. He couldn't get the shot away as Reed tied him up. And Tom Reed is going to get a penalty. And the North Stars will be a man short. Reed going to the penalty box.
20 Minnesota, 2 minutes for hooking.
Hooking penalty, and there's the definition of hooking, as Westfall was stopped by the hooking of Reed, couldn't get the shot on goal. And Tom Reed is in the penalty box. Penalty comes after only 22 seconds of the second period, and of course the Bruins scored a power play goal in the first period, their 69th of the year, and Esposito's 26th individual power play goal, which is a National League record. Here's Orr to Esposito again in front of the net. Dumps it to Scores! John Busick. And the Bruin power play pays off in a hurry.
What a play by Esposito out in front to set up Johnny Busick. Phil simply hung with that puck. Did a beautiful job of hanging on to it despite the fact he's barely under control. Look at this. Backhand, forehand, and being knocked down gets it to Johnny Busick. Fine job by Espo. Here he is. Perfect control here. Saw Busick pass to him as he was being knocked down, and Busick had nothing but net.
For Johnny Busick, his 29th goal of the year, and it's 3-1 for the Bruins. That's for Minnesota. To Grant. He shoots it in behind the Bruin goal, and Orr has it. Orr couldn't get it out. Here's Nevin. Nevin and Orr fight for it. Orr also got an assist on the goal with Esposito. He fed it from the right point to Esposito. Now Gibbs trying to hold it in, but Smith carries back for the Bruins to center. They lead 3-1. Smith trying to go around Harris. Dumped it right in front of the net. No one was there, and Nevin shoots the puck outside the blue line. Orr has it for Boston. To Sanderson. Derek Sanderson, number 16. Shooting it to center ice. Nevin has it. Gives it to Murray Oliver. Oliver with a low shot right along the ice, and Cheever stops that. Smith for the Bruins out on right wing to Westfall. Ed Westfall, a long left wing pass to Walton, who's in the clear. In on goal, a shot. Worsley slid out and made the save. Going to be another penalty to Minnesota. And another hooking penalty coming up against the North Stars. And the Bruin power play will go to work again.
Number 2, 2 minutes for hooking.
Barry Gibbs going off for hooking. The action has stopped with 18 minutes, 31 seconds left in the second period. Let's pause for a moment.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, 2 musicians drove down to buy some spark plugs. So being a good mechanic, and fearing for my life, I put in Autolite Power Tip spark plugs. You see, Autolite wants its spark plugs to be the very best. So they make their Power Tip plugs with solid nickel chrome electrodes to make them last and last. Be a long time before I see those 2 again, because Autolite spark plugs last and last and last and last.
Face-off will be inside the Minnesota line. Barry Gibbs in the penalty box, and the Bruins with a 3-1 lead have the power play on again. And they've scored the last 2 times they've had the man advantage. McKenzie giving the puck to Mike Walton. Walton out on left wing to Busick. Busick to Esposito off his stick, and Moon shoots it back to center. Busick picks it up again. Carries into the Minnesota zone. Drops it to Orr. Here's Orr over to Mike Walton. Walton on that left point. Let the shot go. Worsley got a stick on it. And Oliver for Minnesota shoots the puck down the ice. Oliver and Nevin are out as penalty killers with Moans and Reed on defense. The Bruin power play coming out to center ice is Bobby Orr. Orr stops to make a play, gives it to Walton. Walton in around on the boards to Busick. Busick in the corner. Back to Orr again. Orr fakes the shot, gives it to McKenzie. John McKenzie trying to center it, and it was intercepted by Reed, who shoots it down the ice. Orr and Walton are point men on the Bruin power play. It's Esposito with Busick and McKenzie up front. And Orr carries the puck to center, lets a long shot go. Worsley stops that, and Bob Nevin has it for Minnesota, number 17. Picks an opening and clears the puck down the ice again. Chevers leaves it at the side of the net for Orr. 40 seconds left in the Minnesota penalty. Orr to Esposito. Back to Orr. Now to Esposito again. Moving it in. Busick has it, lost it to Oliver, and Oliver clears the puck down the ice. And again, Orr goes back to get it. Being watched by Burns. Orr holds on to the puck. He fakes the pass, now gives it to Walton. 13 seconds left in the penalty. Walton across the line, a shot, and Worsley made the save and held on to it after a good move by Mike Walton as he moved into the Minnesota zone. We pause now, 5 seconds for station identification.
WCBS-TV, New York.
16 minutes, 39 seconds left in the second period. 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Barry Gibbs. The Bruins lead the North Stars 3-1. Stanfield gets the draw back to the Bruins blue line as Torrey had to go back for it. He gives it to Stanfield. Stanfield turns to get away from Burns. Now Gibbs steps back, so Minnesota's at full strength. Stanfield takes the shot, gives it to Bailey. Now to Orr, and Orr took that puck outside the blue line and then carried it back in. That's called an offside at the Minnesota blue line. We're watching Jerry Cheevers in action here today, Jim, and you're going to have the pleasure of talking to Mrs. Jerry Cheevers at the end of this period.
See what she says about the whole life of Jerry and how she feels watching them in action, Dan.
Here's Barry Gibbs. Gives the puck to Ted Harris. Harris into Burns, and it's offside at the Bruin blue line. I think we've talked to hockey players' wives before, but I think a goaltender's wife would have to undergo different pressures watching her husband in action.
He's the only one on the ice people are really shooting at.
Now Stanfield gets the puck.